Hello everyone, it's Robin here, and today we're doing a very special Disney collection tag. Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Now, this collection tag has been all over the internet for the past few weeks, and it was created by Jessie at Miss Cherry's channel. And if you have never seen her channel, which I'm sure you have, but if you haven't, you need to run over there right now. She is awesome. She is probably the most enthusiastic person I have ever seen, and I always have fun watching her videos. Well, she created this really great tag, and I have been enjoying myself watching other YouTubers share more about themselves through their collection. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I was watching my favorite YouTuber, Kate from PrincessMinnie, as she did her tag. And she tagged me. So I am so up to the challenge. I am excited and I can't wait to get this started. First up is favorite Mickey Mouse item. Well, I've got that covered times two. I have Mickey and my Minnie because they're a pair. I love black and white Mickey and Minnie Mouse. I am a photographer and I think that might have a lot to do with it. But I just adore them in their black and white form. And I got this pair, I don't know, 10 years or so ago when we went to Disneyland, and I just love these two. I also love Mickey and Minnie Mouse as a couple, so I can't have one without the other. It just doesn't make sense. But this is my favorite Mickey Mouse item. Next up is my favorite piece of Disney artwork. Now we're gonna have to take a little field trip to go see it close up, but you can get a hint of it over there. But I will give you a little bit of an idea of what it is first. Now, my favorite land is Adventureland, and I am a Disneyland girl. I used to live in Southern California, so my Adventureland was at Disneyland. Well, back in 1999, for some unknown reason, Disney decided to close down the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse to turn it into Tarzan. I was devastated because they were touching my land. They were touching my land. But that same year, my children all got together and got me a gift for Mother's Day. And it is a print, limited edition of 150 of the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse, matted and framed in this cool bamboo frame. And it has a leaf from the tree in there. And that thing has been with me all these years. Wherever I go, it goes. And I just love this print. So this print my kids gave to me usually hangs in the living room. Look at how awesome this is. Look at that. It's got all the parts of the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse. The print itself is really cool too. See that? It's matted really well. It has a, look at the frame. It's like bamboo, and the mat has a lot of texture too. And it says Swiss Family Treehouse Concept Rendering Limited Edition 150. And the best part is, look, it has a leaf from the tree. I love that tree. It was a really awesome gift. Next is my favorite princess item. I don't really have any princess items, but I do have a pin that I just purchased. It's my first princess pin, and it's from Disney Studio Store Hollywood, and everything about this pin is all that. And it is Ariel sitting on some film reels in her blue dress. I love this pin. Let me show you. So everything about this pin is right. Ariel with her long red hair. She's in her blue dress, which is my favorite. And look at that blue bow on the back of her hair. Isn't it beautiful? And she's sitting on film reels. So it's really about the Little Mermaid. I love this pin and I adore Ariel, especially in her blue dress. I just adore this pin. Yeah, my favorite princess item. And my only real princess item, but still my favorite princess item. Next is my favorite Disney plush item. Well, I already showed you Mickey and Minnie, but I didn't show you Tigger, and he is by far my favorite. And look at how wobbly he is. Isn't he awesome? Look at him. He's so soft and scrunchy. And if you go like this, he dances. I love Tigger. Tigger is my favorite Disney character for sure. And I just love this plush. When I got him at Disneyland years ago, I carried him around the entire day like this. He was like on the rides, everywhere I could walk, he was like this. This is how I carried him. And I absolutely adore him. I think I just love how spontaneous he is and how energetic he is and how unafraid of things he really is for the most part, for sure. And I just absolutely love Tigger, and this is my favorite plush. Yeah. Next is my favorite pair of ears. I'm wearing them, and I just got them when Rod and I went down to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party back in September. So they're new, but look, aren't they fabulous? I went very classic with them because they were my first pair. Right now they're my only pair, but in my mind they're my first pair. But I love them. I was thinking ahead to Christmas because they would look really well at Christmas with their coloring. But yes, there's my ears. Oh, the next is my favorite free Disney souvenir, and I have one. When when we go to Disney World, we like to stay both on property, and this last time we went though, we stayed off property. We actually saved quite a bit of money doing that, but I really also love staying on property. You get in that Disney bubble. One of our favorite resorts that Rod and I like to stay at is Port Orleans Riverside. It's just beautiful, but sometimes price-wise, Coronado Springs works out really well, especially since they're doing a lot of construction right now. Well, Coronado Springs is also a very beautiful resort, and it's a moderate resort, so it's kind of in the middle of the deluxe and the value and in the moderate area, but Coronado Springs really is quite beautiful. Well, like I said, they were doing some construction, and we got into the room, and I can't find the backer card, I'm sorry. On the table were these 3 pins saying, "Pardon our construction," and it's the 3 caballeros whom I love. So they're there. I'll show them individually. There's Donald and Panchito and Jose. So let me show you Panchito first. So Panchito is holding the sign "Under Construction." Isn't he cute? And Donald here is showing that he's painting. And Jose is just hanging out like a cool dude with his saw. So these pins were really a nice touch, and these were really before I started collecting pins, but I hung on to them. Now they have a backer card that explained everything, but I don't know where that is because once I really started collecting pins, I took them off there and started putting them on boards. But that is my free souvenir. That is my favorite. Next is my favorite attraction item, and as you can see here, I have a Banshee. Now, when we first went to Walt Disney World after Flight of Passage opened, I was super thrilled to go on that ride. And let me tell you, it is a fun ride. You ride on a Banshee. Yes, it's amazing. And when we were done, I obviously had to adopt my own Banshee. And Kevin came home with me and has been living behind me ever since. Yeah, he's a little loud, but awesome too. Next is my favorite Disney pin. How can you choose amongst all your children? I just don't know. But I do have a new pin that I haven't showed you yet that I'm so super excited that I got. And I love, love, love this pin because of what it means for me. Now, when these pins first came out, I didn't get one. So I had to search and wait and find, and finally I found one. And it's the Enchanted Tiki Room Tiki Guy pin. Look, he moves. Let me give you a closer look. So Tiki Room was celebrating the 55th anniversary, and they came out with a series of pins. They came out with this Tiki Guy, but they also have the birds too, the showgirl birds, and some of the other birds too. But I adore this Tiki Guy. Now, when I was a young girl, I used to go into the Tiki Room and I wanted to live there. I think that I've mentioned before that I would buy little birds and hanging from my ceiling in my bedroom, and I felt like I was in the Tiki Room. But part of the Tiki Room show that is my favorite is when the drummer guys start playing. And if you don't think I'm serious, I'm gonna show you something else. See my phone here? Listen to my ringtone. So yeah, that's been my ringtone for quite a while now, and I'm so happy now I have a pen to match my ringtone. So next is the item that has the most sentimental value. And I have two because I couldn't decide between the two. So I'm just gonna show you two. And the first one is this Winnie the Pooh book. Look at that, it's this hardcover book and it was made in like 1953, I think is when this one was printed. And it used to be my mom's and then it was mine. When I was a little girl, I had this book. This was like always with me. And for some reason, this is the one thing that I kept from my childhood. Actually, I have two things I kept. I have a stuffed animal too. But this is the only other thing that I've carried around with me. Now, what's awesome about this book too, if you look in it, that wasn't me that did that. That was my kids that did that. They kind of colored in it. But you know what? Right now, where I'm at, that just makes it even more sentimental and special. And I just think it's cool. But look at, first, smell it. It smells like my childhood. Do you ever smell old books? Oh yeah, it brings you right back, doesn't it? But look at these pages. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? So look at this, isn't this beautiful? It says he climbed and he climbed and he climbed, and as he climbed, he sang a little song to himself, and it went like this. Isn't it funny how a bear likes honey? Buzz, buzz, buzz. I wonder why he does. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Let me give you a close look to these pages. Look at the artwork with that. Isn't that crazy? It's amazing. So I absolutely love this book, and it does have a lot of sentimental value for me for sure. The second item I have has more to do with my kids. Now, I used to, like I say this all the time, I used to live in Southern California. All of our kids lived there too, but we left there a little, around 3 years ago, maybe a little slightly more than 3 years ago, to come out here, and oh my gosh, leaving all those kids there. Now, they're not little kids, they're all adults, but in my mind, they are little kids. And these are my three, Holly, Ryan, and Jacob. And this is a trip that we had taken to Disney World, and they're sitting in this big throne chair, and I think that's over by the, I think that was by in the castle when you went up to eat in the Cinderella's table. I think that's where that was. But it's the three of them and me, and I absolutely love this picture. And you know, when we left, we have pictures of the kids all over the house, but this picture I have kept by my bed for the past 3 years because I know my kids are adults, but this is how I see them. And I mean, I don't know if any of you have adult children, or if you do you do the same thing? But let me give you a closer look. So one of the other things that I just love about this picture, see, that's Holly, she's my oldest, and there's Ryan in the middle, and then Jacob is the youngest right there, is that I'm in the picture with them. Because I remember one time Jacob told me, I don't remember ever going to Disney World with you. So I had to find a picture, and this was the picture I found. It said, yeah, we were there. So does that happen to you on vacation? You end up taking all the pictures that you're not in any of them? These days they have PhotoPass, so hopefully then we all can get in the pictures. But this is a very sentimental photo that I keep around. Next is my favorite Sidekick item. Now, I'm not sure if these guys are a sidekick because they're kind of really their own little entity in their own little world, but I'm going with it. I think they're a sidekick. But I have a bucket of aliens. I love this bucket of aliens. Now, you may have noticed some of them have lined up behind me because they just can't stay away from me. But let me give you a closer look. There, look here, first let me look. I just took the lid. See all those aliens in there? Look at that. They even have a rocket ship. So, the reason I have these, not only are they just cool, but like I said, I'm a photographer. And when we lived in San Diego, Rod and I had a very successful photography business. We taught people how to shoot manual with their DSLR cameras, and how to be artists with their cameras, and how to think outside the box to take your pictures. Anyway, I taught a lot of macro. I loved close-up work, so I would use these as tools to learn depth of field, which means how much focus that you have in your image. And you know, you can line them all up in different ways and practice showing, so you can explain depth of field to people. Anyway, but I have these aliens and they're just awesome. So let me give you a closer look at some of them. The cuteness factor alone is just more than I can handle. I just love these little alien guys. Now, I bought these at California Adventure, but I had seen them earlier that year. And you know, and this is what I say, if you see something you want, you just better buy it because it may not be there. But not only was it not there again, so I saw it earlier in the year and I went back home and I was like, I really want to get it. And a few months later when we went back to Disneyland, I thought I'm gonna go buy those little green men. And I went all over the place. I could not find them anywhere. And I was asking cast members if they had buckets of aliens and they looked at me like I was a nut. Until one day, finally, they had them again, so I could buy them. So I love this bucket of aliens. Maybe I should have called them a bucket of little green men. Maybe they would have then understood. I don't know. Next is my favorite piece of Disney apparel, and it's a jacket, if you couldn't believe it. But I got this years ago at an outlet store in San Diego, and it's got Mickey. Got a Mickey patch here, 1955, and the back of it just has, look, okay, Disneyland with the 1955 patch on it. I like it because it's somewhat subtle. It's not like over the top Mickey Mouse, but what I really like about it is that the inside is lined with a sweatshirt material, and then so it was a nice warm jacket. Now in Southern California, you don't need warm jackets like I would say I need a warm jacket here in the Midwest, but you know, it does cool off. It gets in the 50s and the 40s. Sometimes you want a jacket. So that jacket came in really handy. I love, 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 love that jacket a lot. Next is favorite Star Wars or Marvel item, and I have one. It's Yoda. How could you not love Yoda? Look at him. Now Yoda comes from a video game platform called, I think it was called Disney Infinity. They got rid of it, I don't know why. It is fun. So my entire family plays video games, and I do not play video games. So when we get together, if we have any kind of party and I get involved in video games, I am like the worst at it because I have zero control on that controller whatsoever. But I just don't have the interest, I guess, for it until you start putting in little easy fun games. Well, maybe they're not so easy because they're not easy to me, like all the Lego type games or these Disney Infinity games when you put little characters like this. Okay, these characters are awesome. Why aren't all the video games looking like this? Anyway, so this is Yoda, and I absolutely love this. Now, when they made these figures for the Infinity game, they're beautiful. They're beautifully made. So we actually picked up a bunch of them as they were going out of stock so that we could just have the figures. So I have this Yoda. Look at how awesome Yoda is. Oh my God, I love him so much. Look at that. So yeah, if you ever have me over for a video game party and I'm on your team, you gotta have to watch out because I'm your worst enemy. Next is my favorite villain item. Now, I don't really collect villains, but I do have a very special villain item, and it comes in the form of my Buddha Tuesday pin board that we all went together on and put together last month. I love this thing. Look at all the villains on this thing. I just love this thing to death because the experience of doing that all month long with you guys was just fun. It was just fun and I really enjoyed it. So this is my favorite villain item. There's a lot of good villains on here. Yeah. Perfect Disney park outfit. Well, let me tell you this. I am a Disney bounder wannabe, but in reality, I'm a jeans and t-shirt gal. So that's usually what ends up happening. Now, I love looking at all the Disney bounding outfits that people put together. I think in my Pinterest, I have a whole section devoted to that type of thing. I just love it. I think people are so creative, and I always think in my head, oh, I want to do that. And then it gets down to it and I'm just jeans and t-shirt and that's it, because I don't know why, but that's just how I end up going to the parks. Now, it might have something to do with living in Southern California. We were going to Disneyland quite a bit, and it wasn't like when you go on vacation somewhere and how you prepare outfits. It was more that we're just going to hang out at the theme park for the day. So that could have a lot to do with it. Although I do know some people that do live there will do Disney bounding all the time. But for me, it's basically jeans and a t-shirt. I know, but that's it. But I got ears now to go with them, so yay! Next is my favorite souvenir from a specialty event. And we've been to a few specialty events. We've been to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Oh my gosh, so much fun. You need to go. And we've been now to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party twice. And I didn't really buy anything when we were there. I think we were buying things ahead of time. And I guess I'm taking this very literal because if it's a thing from a special event, it has to be about the special event. So again, I'm gonna hit a pin thing. One thing we did do at the last Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is we opened a pin pack while we were there on camera, so it was really fun. And we got an official Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party Oogie Boogie, which was perfect because I had on a Sally on my hat and Rod was wearing a Jack Skellington on his hat. And so we pulled this Oogie Boogie. It was just meant to be. Let me give you a closer look. Oogie Boogie just reeks Halloween, doesn't he? Oh yeah, so totally. Look at that. So yeah, this is my favorite specialty event item for sure. And last but certainly not least is my favorite item from my Disney collection. And it's right here. It's my Minnie Mouse Mug. Look, she comes from Disneyland. This is my favorite item because I literally drink out of this every day. Well, maybe not every day, because sometimes she has to be in the wash, and then I'm very sad when that happens. But you know, she's become kind of like maybe she's a security blanket for me, I don't know. But whatever I'm drinking, whether it's coffee or tea or whatever, my Minnie Mouse Mug is my go-to mug. So obviously she has to be my very favorite item. Love it. So this has been a lot of fun, and I am a little late to the game because I've been looking around trying to figure out who to tag, and pretty much everyone I see has already done it. So what I'm gonna do is, if you would like to do this, consider yourself tagged. So let me do this right now. You are tagged, you are tagged, and you are tagged. And if you do this challenge, please let me know down in the comments below because I'd love to watch it for sure, for sure, for sure. And I want to send a big thank you to Kate from PrincessMinnie. Now she has a great channel. She does a lot of pin openings, she does some hauls, she does trip vlogs, and she is just so much fun to watch. And she has been just a very big inspiration to me. I love her channel to death. It is by far my favorite. You need to go watch her. But if you already are, tell your friends to go watch her too because she is that awesome. And I also want to send a big thank you to Jessie from Miss Cherry's channel. This is a great tag that she's created for all of us to share our collections with. I absolutely love this. And Miss Cherry's channel is awesome, so you should definitely go see that. But the title of this tag, it just reminds me of a story. Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Comes from one of my favorite films, The Little Mermaid, and a film that I love all the music to, and a film at the time I also knew all the words to all the songs. So when my children were young and we went to Disneyland one time, my youngest, Jacob, he was probably about 3 because he was old enough to walk around yet young enough for me to hold. Well, near the end of the day, we were standing in line we were in Toontown, so this was at Disneyland, and we were standing in line at Cartoon Spin. And if you've ever been there, you'll know what I'm talking about, but if not, the line goes inside the building and there's a lot of theming around, but it feels like you're walking through alleyways. So it's a little on the darker side, it's a little on the cool side, and it was later in the evening, so he was getting tired, so I picked him up and he put his head against my shoulder here, and I thought, well, I'm gonna sing softly to him while we're standing in line. And so I started singing the one song that I knew all the words to. Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? And he nestled in some more, and I just continued on. Flipping your fins, you don't get too far. Legs are required for jumping, dancing. And he leaned his little head up, and in his cute little cherub 3-year-old voice, he says to me, Mom. And I looked down at him, I said, what, Jacob? And he said, stop, you're making me sick. And on that note, no matter what you are doing today, I hope you are having a magical one. Thank you, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.